Hello, everyone, and welcome in this live. I hope you can hear me first of all. Um, do you hear me? Hope you can. So today we'll be watching the Austrian Grand Prix, and yeah, we're only 5 minutes away from the formation lap, and today is gonna be a. I hope it's gonna be a fun race, especially because there is a high chance of rain. It's 55% chance of rain, which is a good chance. It's not certain, but it's more than 50%. Anyways, even if there isn't any chance of rain, I don't think that this race is going to be as boring as the last one. At least I hope so. And yeah, so first of all, I'll give you the starting lineup with Max Verstappen on pole position, Lando Norris following in second, Sergio Perez third, Lewis Hamilton fourth, Valtteri Bottas fifth, Pierre Gasly sixth, Yuki Tsunoda seventh, Sebastian Vettel eighth, George Russell ninth, and so now you should be able to hear me. I think. I'm not sure. Um, Now, are you able to hear me? So, um, as I was saying before, but there was any technical issue that didn't allow me to speak properly in the mic, and I wasn't able to talk to you. And so I was telling you the starting lineup for today, which sees Max Verstappen starting on pole position, Lando Norris second place, Sergio Perez third, Lewis Hamilton fourth, Valtteri Bottas fifth, Pierre Gasly sixth, Yuki Tsunoda seventh, Vettel eighth, which he won't start in eighth place. Sebastian Vettel will start in 11th place because of a third place with 3 plays grid penalty for impeding Fernando Alonso. Then George Russell, Lance Stroll, Carlos Sainz, which will start. All these three will start 1 place ahead because of the Sebastian Vettel penalty. Then Charles Leclerc, Daniel Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, Antonio Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Ocon, Latifi, Schumacher, and Mazepin. So the weather is the real concern today, since in Austria it isn't that sunny of a day. It's actually very cloudy, and there is a high chance of rain. 55% is a big chance of rain. The temperature is kind of low, and apart from these, we hope for a good race. We hope to see some decent lap times, some overtakes, and we hope to have fun today. So we are just 2 minutes away from the formation lap, and from then on we'll just see what happens in this beautiful afternoon. Let's see. Okay, so before actually starting with the commentary of the race, I just want to give a quick prediction for what will happen, in my opinion, today. So, if you see my top 5 for today's race, it's kind of strange. I see both Verstappen and Hamilton retiring. I know it's kind of difficult and it's likely not going to happen, but who knows? If they both retire, it's very likely to be a very interesting race. And yeah, if this happens, I see Lando Norris winning, Sergio Perez coming in second place, third place for Valtteri Bottas, Pierre Gasly fourth, and Lance Stroll fifth. It's extremely difficult and unlikely that this will happen, but yeah, I wanted to bet on this very strange order of arrival. And yeah, cars have just started the formation lap, and they're underway to heat up their tires. By the way, Sergio Perez has overtaken Lando Norris before the actual start of the Grand Prix. He'll look to attack him in the fourth corner with a very good start of him, and just try to get the best of his chances. Anyways, they are at turn 3, all drivers are at turn 3, heating their tires up, hitting the brakes up. They are trying to get the best out of their cars if they actually do well. Big chances for them to get good points today. Might be a crazy race, especially if rains in Frame eats up the Austrian ring, which is likely to happen. You see an amazing orange army. Wow, look at how many people are there. Fantastic. Fantastic job from all the Max Verstappen's fan. So, Red Bull has a very big chance to get a lot of points today and get the constructors points up again, because they are 40 points ahead of Mercedes, but they're still having a close battle with the British team, with the Mercedes team, sorry. And apart from these, also McLaren has a very big chance to get points with their number 1 driver, Lando Norris. And Mercedes has to defend and lose the least amount of points as possible if they can. And they are lining up on the grid. They are lining up, and we are ready to see who will be leading after turn 1. Mazepin is on last place, and is now going around the last corner. After he lines up, lights will go up, and we'll be ready for the start of the Austrian Grand Prix. Who will be on top after turn 1? Mazepin lines up. We are all ready. Here they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lights go off, and the Austrian Grand Prix goes away. Max Verstappen, very good start. Lando Norris tries to overtake Max Verstappen. Perez can do nothing. Very big lockup for Pierre Gasly. They go away. They go underway. No contacts yet. Positioners are as they started. So Verstappen, Norris, Perez. Verstappen, Norris, Perez. So Verstappen, Norris, Perez, Hamilton, Bottas, Gasly, Tsunoda, Stroll, Leclerc and Russell. What a start for Charles Leclerc, wins 3 places. And for the others, no one has overtaken anyone apart from Pierre Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda, who got some places. Wow, there is a lot of smoke coming from the grandstands. 132,000 people attending the Grand Prix this weekend. All for Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc trying to go down the inside of Sebastian, or was it? Yeah, it was Charles Leclerc. Safety car. I don't know what happened. Who's in last place? Esteban Ocon. Esteban Ocon crashed. I don't know if he crashed. Yeah, he crashed. He crashed. Esteban Ocon crashed. And there is already a safety car on lap 1. He crashed at turn 3. I think he was trying to overtake someone. He was trying to overtake Kimi Raikkonen. He was then squeezed by Nikita Mazepin and Kimi Raikkonen, and his right front tire broke, and he was forced to retire. I don't have to report any other contacts apart from these. So Antonio Giovinazzi, which maybe has reported damages from the contact with Esteban Ocon, is now pitting, and he's has already pitted. 2.2, a good stop time for the Italian, as position are very stable. No one has overtaken anyone apart from Gasly and Tsunoda, who have taken some places. So, to repeat the order: Verstappen, Norris, Perez, Hamilton, Bottas, Gasly, Tsunoda, Stroll, Vettel, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Russell, Sainz, Raikkonen, Alonso, Schumacher, Latifi, Mazepin, and Giovinazzi. And Esteban Ocon was forced to retire because of a contact between him, Mazepin, and Giovinazzi. Mazepin hasn't reported any damages, while Antonio Giovinazzi was forced to pit and change his front wing, and change also his tire because of a puncture. So, safety car won't last too long, since Esteban Ocon was able to stop the car in a safe place and close to a safe point for the marshals to take the car out. And yeah, it shouldn't last too long, maybe another 1 or 2 laps, and they will be underway again for the Austrian Grand Prix. Race start has been kinda easy. There weren't any contact apart from Stroll, Giovinazzi, and Mazepin's one, which was turn 3. Verstappen closed the door on Lando Norris, which tried to overtake him. Probably had a better start than the Dutch, but he wasn't able to overtake him. And then Perez, Hamilton, and Bottas followed. Gasly tried to overtake Valtteri Bottas on turn 3, but the finish closed the door. Well, all the others had a very good start, and yep. Let's wait for Lando Norris had the best start of all the cars. 4.6 seconds from 0 to 200 kilometers per hour, as Max Verstappen had a silent 4.7, so very close, extremely close, but still. And safety car is now ending. So, Max Verstappen is going around the last 2 corners. Safety car is in the pits. We are ready to go again. Max Verstappen doesn't hit the gas yet, the throttle. Now, Max Verstappen still hitting up his tires, still going zigzags. Now, he doesn't go yet. He goes now. Max Verstappen gets a very good restart as Sergio Perez tries to overtake Lando Norris down the outside. Out turn 1, Lando Norris defends. Perez goes long and he has to give the place back to Lando Norris. Oh, he doesn't. He still attacks the British, who is able to re-overtake Sergio Perez though. He's now being attacked from Lewis Hamilton as well. Everyone attacking Lando Norris, who goes down the inside of third 3, and he keeps the second place. But Sergio Perez still on Lando Norris' tails, and now he's going around the outside of turn 5. Norris is not. Oh, he goes out. It looked like Albon and Hamilton accident from last year, but Perez was able to keep the car and not spin it, but Sergio Perez has gone out. He went into the gravel because of Lando Norris pushed him out, and to keep the second place, and Sergio Perez is now in 10th place. He was able to not spin the car, and he has a big chance to recover now. So Lando Norris went very tight, then he widened up his race line, and Sergio Perez was forced out of the track, very likely to get a penalty. Lando Norris is very likely to get a penalty if we think of what happened between Lewis Hamilton and Alexander Albon last year, which is very similar to this accident that happened between Perez and Norris. So right now, Max Verstappen has the fastest lap. He's going 2 seconds faster than Lando Norris. Well, kind of obviously, because he also had an accident. So Norris now has to defend from both Mercedes. Bottas is going a bit faster than Lewis Hamilton, but we are not they're very similar in pace. So Lewis Hamilton 7 tenths away of Lando Norris, Valtteri Bottas 7 tenths away of Lewis Hamilton. We are very close. Now they go, Max Verstappen gets another fastest lap, as Hamilton is 5 tenths away of Lando Norris. He tries the attack down turn 1. He can't overtake the British driver yet, as we are now very close. They don't have DRS yet. They'll have it next lap, as we are lap 6 out of 71. Round turn 3, no attacks on the British driver. Lewis Hamilton still following, maybe waiting for DRS. So there is an investigation for car 99, so Antonio Giovinazzi, because he overtook someone before the safety car line, so before the finish line. And Lando Norris is P2, Hamilton P3, but it's P4, Gasly P5, Tsunoda P6, Stroll P7, Vettel P8, Ricciardo P9, Perez P10, Leclerc P11, Russell P12, Sainz P13, Raikkonen P14, Alonso P15, Latifi P16, Giovinazzi P17, Schumacher P18, Mazepin P19. Max Verstappen leading the race and getting another fastest lap. Now DRS has been enabled. Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton are very close indeed. So, Max Verstappen still leading the race. Hamilton unable to overtake Lando Norris, and they are very close though. Alpha second between the two British drivers, as Lando Norris is very likely to get a penalty because of the accident that happened between him and Sergio Perez. Now we are still on lap 7, as Antonio Giovinazzi gets a 5 seconds time penalty. So 5 seconds for Antonio Giovinazzi, who will be penalized after his pit stop, which won't happen until very far down the stretch, because Antonio Giovinazzi is actually has already pitted because of an accident that happened between Esteban Ocon, him and Nikita Mazepin. And let's wait and see when he will pit. Sergio Perez, Daniel Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel, Lance Stroll are all battling for P7. So Lance Stroll is now in this position, Vettel following, Ricciardo 9th, Perez in 10th, and Leclerc in 11th place. They are all very close between each other. And I have to say, Perez doesn't deserve to be in this position, in this P10, because he made contact between Lando Norris and he was forced off the track and was forced to go into the gravel, where he was able to not spin the car and to avoid from being in what would have been very likely last place, and that would have been very much more difficult to recover, as Lando Norris is still being attacked from Lewis Hamilton. Now he has DRS, and Max Verstappen has already gained 3.5 seconds on Lando Norris, as Lewis Hamilton is 6 tenths away of Lando Norris, and he's two tenths faster than him. So, Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton are very close. Pace is very similar, is around a tenth between the two drivers. Lewis Hamilton is very close, 7 tenths away of the British driver. We have to say both drivers are on medium tires. Both drivers are on their fastest laps. 4 tenths is the gap between the two. Lewis Hamilton is in the slipstream of Lando Norris around turn 3, big braking zone, and Lewis Hamilton is unable to overtake the British driver. And they are again on another straight line, again following in the slipstream. Hamilton is very close. Norris gives him the outside. Hamilton tries to take it, he can't, he's too far away. And Lando Norris holds on to his second place. Now we are in the last sector. Lando Norris holding up Lewis Hamilton, and here in Spielberg in lap 10, Valtteri Bottas has actually he got a bit farther away from the two. He isn't involved in his battle. Maybe he wants some clean air and he wants to show his pace afterwards. By the way, we are again in a straight line. Lando Norris has to defend again from Lewis Hamilton, from the 7 times world champion. Lewis Hamilton goes round turn 1. Lando Norris, he actually scratched a bit of his floor. He might have a bit of damage because of that scratch. Now Lewis Hamilton opens the DRS up. We are around turn 3. Lewis Hamilton might try a big lunge. He can't. He locks up. And that will be a bit of a breathe. Will give Lando Norris a bit of a breathing line. Actually not, because Hamilton is able to get very close to the British driver again, but he might have fat spotted his tires. So Hamilton locked up his front right tire on lap 11 at turn 3, trying to overtake Lando Norris, but he wasn't able to. So Lando Norris holds on to his P2 and Hamilton keeps staying in P3, while Max Verstappen gets around a second per lap. Lando Norris might have scratched his floor though, because he actually went a bit long on turn 1 and he might have some damages. We'll see if his pace is compromised or not. Both cars are on very similar pace. Hamilton in 194.73, Norris for 195.41. As Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton are back at it, we are still waiting to see who will come out on top of this battle. We are again at the end of the second straight line. Again, Lewis Hamilton is held up by Lando Norris, who is being very difficult to overtake, as Carlos Sainz has just overtaken George Russell, and Ferrari driver is now up in P12. So, to repeat how the cars are lined up: Max Verstappen P1, Lando Norris P2, Hamilton P3, Bottas P4, Gasly P5, Tsunoda P6, Stroll P7, Vettel P8, Ricciardo P9, Perez P10, Leclerc P11, P12 for Carlos Sainz, P13 for George Russell, P14 for Kimi Raikkonen, P15 for Fernando Alonso, P16 Latifi, P17 Giovinazzi, P18 Schumacher, P19 Mazepin. We are back before this battle between Lando Norris. Oh, Tsunoda pitting. Wow. Tsunoda is already pitting. Didn't expect that at all. Lando Norris and Sergio Perez are under investigation for the contact between them here in turn 6 on lap, I think it was 3 or 4. And yeah, we'll see what FIA marshals decide. I think it's going to be a 5-second time penalty for Lando Norris for forcing another car off the track if they are coherent with themselves, because last year, I have to say, for a very similar accident, between Alexander Albon and Lewis Hamilton was penalized and actually gave Lando Norris the podium. And yeah, as of right now, I see Lando Norris getting penalized for that accident. And we are still in this battle between Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton, as another driver has entered the pit lane, and it is Pierre Gasly. So both AlphaTauri drivers actually pitting a lot before than we all expected. We are only on lap 14 and they were on softs. Okay, so that makes sense. They're both pitted for hard tires, as it's probably the most obvious thing to do. So at the moment, Verstappen, Norris, Hamilton, Bottas, Ricciardo, Perez, Leclerc, Russell, Alonso, Latifi, Schumacher, Mazepin are all on medium compound tires. Stroll and Vettel. Oh, Sergio Perez tried to go down the inside of who? No, is it Max Verstappen? No. It is Carlos Sainz. No, it is Charles Leclerc, who was actually overtaken Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez and got into P8. What an effort from Charles Leclerc. In turn 3 overtook Sergio Perez. No, he didn't overtake in turn 3 Sergio Perez. Then he opened the DRS, and thanks to traction, he was able to get the best out of his car and overtake the Red Bull driver. What an overtake from Charles Leclerc. What an effort from the Monegasque, who is now going to follow Daniel Ricciardo and then Sebastian Vettel. Lance Stroll has pitted for hard tyres, as Hamilton and Norris are still very close. 3-10 separating the two British drivers. They are battling for P2, while Max Verstappen is the leader of the race and he has a 6.7 gap from Lando Norris. Now they're a bit further away. Now Verstappen gets the fastest lap, 1.9.0. Very good lap from Max Verstappen. 8/10 between Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton. It should be enough to for Lando Norris to keep his second place. I have to say, Max Verstappen going in 1.90. Both Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton going in 1.95. They are very close between each other, so the pace has to be the same, but still very, very, very close, and very, very big gap in the lap times between the two. So, and Lando Norris is also under investigation because of a contact between him and Sergio Perez. So, we are on lap 16 out of 71, and Ricciardo tries the lunge down the outside of Sebastian Vettel at turn 6, but he can't do anything. And at turn 5, I'm sorry, and Max Verstappen gets another fastest lap. Lando Norris in P2 is at 1.94, Max Verstappen 1.90, Lewis Hamilton 1.95. So, big gap in the lap times, and Max Verstappen is 7.2 ahead of Lando Norris, leading the race. Lewis Hamilton 5/10 behind Lando Norris, still attacking the British driver, who has very good speed in the straight lines. And at the moment the fastest on the straight lines is Nikita Mazepin, followed by Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, Leclerc, Raikkonen and Ricciardo. 226 for Nikita Mazepin, 224 for Sainz and Perez, 223 for Leclerc, Raikkonen and Ricciardo. So not that high of a speed actually, but still Ricciardo's overtaken Sebastian Vettel. Ricciardo has overtaken Danny outside of turn 5. Sebastian Vettel, great overtake from Daniel Ricciardo. Absolutely fantastic job of him. Sebastian Vettel still riding on the hards. He's the only driver to ride on these tires. All the others have either changed or they have started with a harder compound tire. Now Sebastian Vettel is entering the pits and he will box for hard tires, I think. Will he? He boxes for hard tires, as we all expected. And very good pit stop from Sebastian Vettel. So Verstappen in the race, Norris coming in P2, Hamilton P3, and they are battling between each other. 7 tenths is the gap between the two. There is also a nice battle for P5 between Daniel Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz. They're all battling between each other. Now, Daniel Ricciardo is P5, Leclerc P6, Sergio Perez P7, and Sainz P8. They are all on medium tires, and it's a very open race because Perez might have reported some damages because of the contact between him and Lando Norris that happened on lap 2 or 3, maybe 4, if I remember wrong. Anyways, Lewis Hamilton still very close to Lando Norris. Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton both having traction problems right now. Maybe the tires are starting to go away. Lando Norris, will he hold on from Lewis Hamilton? Yeah, he does. Lewis Hamilton actually getting the fastest sectors between the two. And actually, Hamilton just got the purple sector in sector 1. He doesn't get the purple in sector 2. And they are all very fast. And Norris now has a decent advantage in gap from Lewis Hamilton, 6 tenths, which is now reduced to 5 tenths. They are kind of close between each other. Hamilton opens up the DRS. They're on a main straight line. Going around turn 1 now. Norris P2, Hamilton still P3. Norris and Hamilton both have a good exit. They are very close now. They are really close now. Hamilton very close for Lando Norris. He tries to go down the outside now. And Lando Norris have just got a 5-second time penalty, as we all expected, because he has forced another driver off the track. And now Hamilton tries to go down and out the inside of Lando Norris in turn 5, and he does. What a move from the British driver as he gets P2. And Lando Norris now goes down in P3, and he won't be able to re-attack Lewis Hamilton. Very likely not to happen. And Lando Norris also has a 5-second time penalty that you have to serve after his pit stop. And yeah, they are very close between each other. Again, Norris not letting Lewis Hamilton go this easily, although they're already a second behind. And Norris now he has DRS, but I don't think he'll be able to attack the Mercedes driver, maybe because of the straight line speed. It is much faster. And I don't think he'll even have DRS now. Will he? He's too far away. He's very far away. Hamilton, a very strange team radio. He said, such a great driver, Lando. So, okay, Lewis, I think we actually knew, because Norris is driving like a veteran. What a driver he is, actually. Lewis Hamilton, though, telling it. It's kind of strange. You don't expect that to happen. Lewis Hamilton isn't this kind of driver. So if he says it, I think he actually thinks it. And so this team radio will go down in history because Lewis Hamilton saying that another driver that he's just overtaken is a great driver is actually not happening every day. Still, Hamilton now going a lot faster than Norris, and this battle is over. Lewis Hamilton got the place, and Norris P3 with a 5 seconds time penalty. Let's now switch to another battle. Daniel Ricciardo and Charles Leclerc, also Leclerc and Perez. Ricciardo and Leclerc have a gap between each other of 1.3 seconds. Leclerc and Perez have a gap of 9/10 between each other. And the Sainz is a bit farther away. Though. And we are on lap 22. And only Giovinazzi, Gasly, Tsunoda, Vettel and Stroll have already pitted. They were the only one who started with soft tyres. And car 22 has been... So Yuki Tsunoda has just got a 5 second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, I think. So let's see. Sergio Perez was forced on the track. It's exactly the same dynamic as Albon and Hamilton last year. Exactly the same thing. Norris widened a bit up his racing line. Perez might have had brake a little bit before, but still, you have to penalise that. I think it's right to penalise Lando Norris in this occasion. And yeah. So positions: P1 for Max Verstappen, P2 Lewis Hamilton, P3 Lando Norris, P4 Valtteri Bottas, P5 Daniel Ricciardo, P6 Charles Leclerc, P7 Sergio Perez, P8 Carlos Sainz, P9 George Russell, P10 Kimi Raikkonen, P11 Fernando Alonso, P12 Nicolas Latifi, P13 Antonio Giovinazzi, P14 Pierre Gasly, P15 Yuki Tsunoda, P16 Sebastian Vettel, P17 Lance Stroll, P18 Mick Schumacher, P19 Nikita Mazepin, and Esteban Ocon has retired from the race because of an accident between him, Mazepin and Giovinazzi on lap 1. And so I have to say on Twitter is going on a very cheeky Twitter battle between Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes admin and McLaren's one. Very cheeky, with Mercedes posting very strange image of Lewis Hamilton, claiming that these are his mirrors right now. Strange to see Mercedes doing that. I mean, is that their admin is actually very particular, but still. Anyways, we are on lap 25. Max Verstappen leading the way from Lewis Hamilton, who is 10.3 behind the Dutch driver, as their pace is Lewis Hamilton is actually faster. No, he's actually faster than Max Verstappen about 0.080, which is nothing, and you won't get 10 seconds with that pace. But still, I have to say this: Verstappen is going slower than Lewis Hamilton, or at least they are on very similar pace. While Lando Norris is going 0.4 slower than Lewis Hamilton, and Valtteri Bottas is chasing Lando Norris of about less than a tenth per lap, which is a match at all. Max Verstappen has just got the fastest lap, 188, and Lewis Hamilton going in 193. So I have to say, Hamilton is going a lot slower than Max Verstappen, about half a second now, so he might as well just recharging his energy before. Absolutely dominating right now from Max Verstappen. A great job, he's doing a great job, absolutely fantastic job from Max Verstappen. So, I think I have to say that my predictions might have been wrong, because I don't think at this point Norris, Perez, Bottas, Gasly and Stroll will be the top 5. So Verstappen is starting to lap other drivers. He has lapped Nikita Mazepin, and he didn't find any problems to lap Nikita, and he is now cruising his way in P1, having enjoyed the views of the Spielberg Mountains, and even at Red Bull pit box, they are not thinking about Max Verstappen, but only Sergio Perez. They are focusing on him. He's P7 battling with Charles Leclerc. He's just 6 tenths behind Charles, and the Mexican might have a shot in this lap. We have to say, Ricciardo gets a bit of the grass, and Charles Leclerc might have a chance of overtaking him. Wow, Ricciardo actually went a lot on the grass, took a lot of grass, and Leclerc is going faster than Australian, who is battling for P5. P5 for Daniel Ricciardo, P6 for Charles Leclerc. They are very close indeed. Charles Leclerc less than a tenth between the two, less than a tenth, and they are very close, all with DRS apart from Daniel Ricciardo. Leclerc isn't able to attack the Australian. He's very close though. We're on lap 28, and the main battle on track is between Ricciardo, Leclerc, Perez, and Perez. Hamilton gets a purple sector 3, but he isn't able yet to get Max Verstappen. Verstappen actually goes 2 tenths faster than Lewis Hamilton, and Daniel Ricciardo is trying to hold on Charles Leclerc for P5. We're on lap 28. Ricciardo gets again a lot of grass. Very strange racing line from the Australian. While Lando Norris has been... No, that's Daniel Ricciardo, sorry. Daniel Ricciardo. And he is very close from Charles Leclerc. They are 8 tenths away. 8 tenths between the two. Verstappen, I didn't understand what he's saying. He opened for radio, but I didn't understand what he said. Max Verstappen claimed something, but I didn't understand. I don't think there is any problem from the Dutch driver, because he is driving with an advantage of 11.5 seconds over Lewis Hamilton, which is not bad at all. Very good job from Max Verstappen. And well, right now we are on lap 29, and only Pierre Gasly, Antonio Giovinazzi, Yuki Tsunoda, Sebastian Vettel, Lance Stroll, and Nikita Mazepin have already pitted. Medium compound tires are holding out on track, and I don't think that they are going to pit in a very long time, because now times have started to go up a bit, Verstappen was driving in 192 before, he's now driving in 194. Hamilton 196, Norris 199, Valtteri Bottas 196 as well. So now Dan Ricciardo is pitting. There he goes. His pit stop is very good pit stop. 2.3 seconds is his stop time, and he returns on track in P12 behind Pierre Gasly. So AlphaTauri's strategies paid off. He has been undercut. Good job from AlphaTauri's strategist. He was doing a very good job. Lando Norris goes in the pits as well. There he goes in the pits as well. Lando Norris, let's see how his pit stop is. Also, Mercedes is out with their mechanics. And Bottas, 5 second silent penalty being served from Lando Norris. And he goes in. Bottas is ahead. No, he's ahead of Lando Norris. Lando Norris has been overtaken inside the pit lane from Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas didn't have to serve a 5 second silent penalty, whereas Lando Norris had to, and he has been overtaken from the Finnish driver in the pit lane. So, right now, George Russell in the pit lane, and a lot of drivers are now pitting to switch from the medium to hard tyres. Top two, so Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton haven't. Now Lewis Hamilton is pitting. Lewis Hamilton is in the box. To switch from mediums to hards. And his stop time will be 2.2. Great pit stop from the Mercedes mechanics. As we are on lap 32 out of 71. Race hasn't been this funny yet. Still waiting for action. We're still waiting for overtakes, which on this track should happen because it's a very fast track. A lot of straight lines, a lot of DRS and zones. 3, be precise. We are still waiting for something to happen. Anyway. And Verstappen being called inside the pit lane. So the race leader has now entered the pit lane on lap 32 out of 71. There he goes. Inside the pit lane. Going inside his box. And very good pit stop from Red Bull mechanics. In a time of 1... It doesn't say the time, but still. At this point of the race, what might happen is Max Verstappen getting the Grand Chelem. Because he has 30 seconds time advantage on Lewis Hamilton, who has already pitted. And he has the fastest lap. He got the pole position yesterday. And he has also led the race from lap 1 to lap 33. And if he doesn't box again, he's very likely to get a Grand Chelem. While his teammate Sergio Perez get a 3.1 pit stop to switch from mediums to hards. And Sergio Perez is now in P10. So Fernando Alonso also pitting right now. And 4.2 stop time, kind of slow stop for Fernando Alonso. And still waiting for something to happen. So, order on lap 34 after almost everyone has pitted but the Ferrari drivers, Kimi Raikkonen, Nicolas Latifi and Mick Schumacher. So the order after pit stop is Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, who is going very fast indeed. Valtteri Bottas 186 fastest lap for the Finnish driver. He's probably going to catch Lewis Hamilton. if he goes at this pace, he's 4 tenths faster than his teammate. And so then Lando Norris following. Charles Leclerc P5 yet to stop. Sainz P6 yet to stop. Raikkonen P7 yet to stop. Gasly P8. Ricciardo P9. Perez P10. Tsunoda P11. Vettel P12. Stroll P13. Russell P14. Alonso P15. Schumacher P16. Latifi is pitting right now and he's P17. And Giovinazzi P18. Already lapped. And Nikita Mazepin has been lapped and he's in P19. Lewis Hamilton, as Max Verstappen reclaims his fastest lap with a 1.84, 3 tenths faster than Valtteri Bottas' fastest lap, who is now driving 1.87. Charles Leclerc is now pitting for Haas, and Lewis Hamilton is driving very slowly indeed. 1.92 is his pace, and Lewis is having kind of some troubles. He isn't driving fast at all. Charles Leclerc, his pace is kind of slow, maybe 2.3 seconds. Well, very fast. It didn't look like that fast. Charles Leclerc comes out in P10. He has been undercut by Sergio Perez, so again Ferrari strategist score again, beautiful strategy from Ferrari. Charles Leclerc has been overtaken from Sergio Perez. A fantastic job for Ferrari to lose a place. Great job. So after everyone has pitted, the current order is Max Verstappen P1, fastest on track. Lewis Hamilton P2. Gap between Hamilton and Verstappen after 36 lap is 14.7 seconds. Bottas P3, Norris P4, Sainz P5, Raikkonen P6, Gasly P7, Ricciardo P8, Perez P9, Leclerc P10, Tsunoda P11, Vettel P12, Stroll P13, Russell P14, Alonso P15, Latifi P16, Giovinazzi P17, Schumacher P18, Mazepin P19. And they are all on hard tires, and the only retired car is Esteban Ocon, who retired because of an accident on lap 1 between him, Giovinazzi and Mazepin. Battle between Russell and Stroll is underway. Russell P14, Stroll P13, and right now, George Russell has overtaken Lance Stroll on the straight thanks to DRS. Good job from the British driver. He's very likely going to get his seat at Mercedes next year, next to Lewis Hamilton. And yeah. So yeah. So Gasly is being chased down by Daniel Ricciardo, who is in P7, while Gasly P6, 8 tenths between the two. Also, Perez and Gasly are in this battle. Perez P8, Charles Leclerc P9. Whereas in top 5 there are Sainz is yet to pit. Sainz is the only one yet to pit. Sainz is the only driver on track yet to pit, while Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton are very close between each other, 2.8 seconds between the two, and it is not impossible that the two will have a battle later on in the race. We are lap 40 out of 71, 32 laps remaining, and the only battle on track is between Gasly, Ricciardo, Perez and Leclerc. The only driver yet to pit on track is Carlos Sainz. Gasly and Tsunoda are very likely to pit again, as well as Stroll and Vettel, since they had to pit very close to the start in the race, because they started the race with soft tires. They were the only one, whereas everyone else started with either hard tires or medium tires. So everyone is on hard apart from Kimi Raikkonen, who is on mediums. He has started race with hard tires, and we'll see if he now pays off. Oh, Sergio Perez had the exact same thing that Lando Norris did on him, on Charles Leclerc, and he forced Charles Leclerc off the track to get into the gravel. At this point, I have to think FIA will give Sergio Perez 5 seconds for this, because Leclerc was trying to overtake a Turn 5 down the outside. Perez touched him and then he forced him off the track, and into the gravel he went. Charles Leclerc P9 now, Perez P8 to defend. He defended too hard. He hit Charles Leclerc once and then he forced him off the track. This has to be at least 5 seconds for the Mexican driver. Very bad performance from the very poor effort from the Mexican, and Hamilton and Bottas are getting closer and closer every lap. Valtteri Bottas is, in Amazon's opinion, in 2 laps he'll chase down Lewis Hamilton. The pace of Valtteri Bottas is 1:90, while Lewis Hamilton's pace is 1:93. They are both on hards, and they pitted almost the same lap 11 laps on this side for Valtteri Bottas, 10 for Lewis Hamilton, and under investigation are Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez. Very likely for Sergio Perez to get a 5 seconds time penalty, because almost the same accident happened between him and Lando Norris before in the race on lap 4, and Lando Norris was penalized of 5 seconds for the same exact accident. So I see Perez getting 5 seconds in because of these anyways. Bottas and Hamilton are going to have a battle very soon. Bottas is 1.6 behind Lewis Hamilton on lap 43, and there he goes. Sergio Perez 5 seconds time penalty. It was almost obvious, because I mean, if you give it to Charles Leclerc, if you give it to Lando Norris, I'm sorry, you have to give it to Sergio Perez. They were the 2 drivers involved, so I mean, you cannot switch sides this much. And Sergio Perez gets 5 seconds, and he will have to save it either in the next pit stop if he does one, or at the end of the race on his time. Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton are just separated between 1.4 seconds. Max Verstappen is 18 seconds ahead of the two Mercedes, and he is just enjoying the Sunday. Not that beautiful weather though. There isn't rain at all right now, and we are not enjoying a very fun race. But I'm sure that Max Verstappen is enjoying this Sunday, and is very happy to get this win. That is very likely to happen after this race. And yeah, Sergio Perez, purple first sector, while he's chasing down Daniel Ricciardo. And for second sector, he isn't that fast though, actually very slow. And Valtteri Bottas 1.4 from Lewis Hamilton. We are waiting for the finish to get the British. Their pace is almost is very similar, just 0.2 faster than Hamilton is Bottas. Gap 1.4, and they've all pitted for hard tires, and they have the same number of laps on these tires. And right now, Sergio Perez has received a penalty of 5 seconds for forcing another driver off the track. Verstappen wakes up from his sleep to a certain point. He's just enjoying the Sunday, but he has got the fastest sector in sector 1. And on sector 2 he goes... does he go purple or not? He doesn't go purple in sector 2, actually very slow second sector for Max Verstappen, so I don't think he's going to get the fastest lap right now. And yeah, he's very likely going to get Grand Chelem today, because Max Verstappen is cruising from lap 1 to this point in first place. Yesterday he got the pole position. He is leading the race from lap 1 to this point, and he is enjoying the Sunday. He also has the fastest lap. It's very likely going to be a 26 points day for Max Verstappen. And at this point, the problem is that Lewis Hamilton cannot even pit to change tires and get the fastest lap as he did last week here, because Valtteri Bottas is 1 second behind him, and Daniel Ricciardo is 2.5 behind Bottas, so they're very close between each other. And now Bottas is in DRS zone of Lewis Hamilton. The battle we were waiting for is now on. 8 tenths between the two Mercedes drivers. And on TV, they're not. We're not seeing anything now, as Pierre Gasly has pitted. Has he? Yeah, he's pitting. Pierre Gasly is pitting for I think mediums at this point, or hards. I don't know. 2.2, and he's on hards again. So 2 hards for Pierre Gasly, as Charles Leclerc is now battling with Sergio Perez. They're very close between each other. Charles Leclerc goes down the outside of Sergio Perez this time. He tries to cross the racing lines and he cannot overtake the side to side, wheel to wheel. Leclerc tried to go down the outside of what can be the best overtake of the season, and he forces him again off the track. Sergio Perez forcing everyone off the track. This has to be another 5 seconds time penalty for Sergio Perez. Another time he has been forced off the track by Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc, and very unlucky from Charles Leclerc to be forced 2 times from the same driver off the track. Unlucky, very unlucky. Now, the two Mercedes drivers have lost a bit of contact 1.1 between the two. And Lando Norris is actually going faster than a Mercedes now. 1.88. He's only slower than Max Verstappen, and only Max Verstappen is faster than Lando Norris. And he's gaining a bit on the two Mercedes drivers. Lando Norris is 3.4 is the gap between Hamilton and Norris, while the gap between between Norris and Bottas is 1.7, and Norris is gaining half a second per lap on the Mercedes. Again, wow. Can the British driver do something? Is Valtteri Bottas losing pace? We'll see what will happen. We'll see. Because Lando Norris is actually going a lot faster than Valtteri Bottas. And Bottas is saying something on the radio. Valtteri Bottas might have problems. He might have problems. Has he? Charles Leclerc is furious on the radio for what happened between him.
Okay, we've seen that. Just remember, he has a 5-second penalty.
Yeah, Leclerc is furious on the radio. And right now we are up 49 on 71 after an hour of race. And Carlos Sainz, at this point, he's yet to pit. Lewis Hamilton went along on turn 1. He's complaining about the tyres as usual, I have to say. But he went very long and he might have reported some damages on his floor, as Valtteri Bottas is also struggling for pace right now. And Lando Norris is going 4 tenths faster than Hamilton and 2 tenths faster than Bottas. Right now, Carlos Sainz has finally entered the pit lane after 49 laps. And he's pitting for mediums? Yeah, mediums for Carlos Sainz. Kind of a slow stop for the Spaniard, who is having a brilliant race at this point. Good pace showed from him. Then Ricciardo. Very good lap from Dan Ricciardo. And at this point, McLaren might have done a very, very, very good amount of points from this race, being his drivers P4 and P5. Wow. Great race from the two drivers. I mean, one is P5 fighting with Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc. One is P4 fighting for P2 with Bottas and Hamilton. So still a big difference between the two drivers, but still. Now Carlos Sainz just overtaken Yuki Tsunoda for P8. So Ferrari's P7 and P8, very fresh tires for Carlos Sainz. While then Ricciardo again, wow. I mean, Bottas and Norris are the only drivers with Max Verstappen that are under 1.9 in pace. Lewis Hamilton is 1.90, so 2 tenths slower than both Bottas and Norris. And Max Verstappen is 21 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Oh my days, what a race is Verstappen having, and what a terrible race is Lewis Hamilton having. Bottas is very close indeed from the British driver. 1.1 is the gap between the two, and Norris is very grateful to enjoy this party, I think. And Bottas is 1.018. He can't get DRS yet, but he'll get all the slipstream he can to fight Lewis Hamilton. Norris 1.4 behind Bottas, and 9 tenths behind between the two Mercedes drivers. And Norris 1.3 behind Bottas. Bottas 6 tenths behind Lewis Hamilton. Norris still faster than Bottas though, who is almost on Hamilton's pace. Right now, Hamilton's pace 1.90. Verstappen. Max Verstappen, fastest lap of the race, 1.8439. Lewis Hamilton is going to finish his lap in a 1 9:0:43. 6 tenths slower than Max Verstappen. Bottas 1:86. Norris 1:85. Wow. This battle can be on also for Lando Norris. Great pace showed by the British. But Lewis Hamilton, he is very close. He is very close from Valtteri Bottas. Bottas trying the lunge down the inside of turn 3. Hamilton doesn't want to make contact between the two drivers. Mercedes are both side to side, wheel to wheel. Bottas has DRS. Bottas has the inside. Hamilton has the outside. Bottas completes the overtake. Great overtaking from Valtteri Bottas to get P2 at this point of the race. And Lando Norris is now 9 tenths behind Lewis Hamilton, now 8. He's very close to a podium spot. What will happen next? Lewis Hamilton is the slowest between the top 5. Between the top 4, I'm sorry. In 1:90 is his pace. Norris's pace is 1:85. Let's see now. Sebastian Vettel. Valtteri Bottas got the fastest lap right after Sebastian Vettel got it. Now Lewis Hamilton has lost a second to Lando Norris. It's just one sector. Now Valtteri Bottas gets the fastest lap, 1:83. Hamilton 1:10.2. Norris 1:89. 6 tenths separating the two drivers. Norris alongside Yuki Tsunoda. He has compromised his chances of overtake now because he was very close to Lewis Hamilton. He is very close to Lewis Hamilton indeed. All the traction he has, the British driver. Lando Norris down the straight, opening the DRS. Also Hamilton at DRS. The two of the drivers have the DRS. Now Norris tries to go down the outside of Lewis Hamilton. Can he overtake him? No, he cannot. He doesn't want to go out of the track. Lando Norris, as it's already happened between. Oh my God! Hamilton has pulled over. Lando Norris has overtaken Lewis Hamilton in a spot that nobody would have thought he would have overtaken Lewis Hamilton. And Max Verstappen gets the fastest lap again, 1:81. Bottas ends his lap in 1:88. Lando Norris closes the lap as well in P3 ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who is pitting right now to get the fastest lap, 1:89 for Lando Norris. And Lewis Hamilton is going to pit for softs. Either softs or mediums, hards. Hamilton bidding for hards. 2.8 is his stop, and at this point, I think he's just going to try and get the fastest lap. Stroll gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And Lewis Hamilton comes out of the pit lane in P4. Well, Daniel Ricciardo has been overtaken by Sergio Perez, who has a 5 seconds time penalty. Everyone has been lapped but the top 8. Lando Norris overtook Lewis Hamilton in a spot that nobody would have thought of because he overtook him in turn 7. Turn 7. What a great job by Lando Norris. Now, Lando Norris cruising now in P3. Hamilton 46 seconds behind him. So he can get the job done to get another podium. It would be the 3rd of the season from Lando Norris. But he actually wants more. I think he wants to get Valtteri Bottas. He's 1.6 behind the Finnish driver. He is kind of farther than what he was Lewis Hamilton. And especially, Valtteri Bottas is faster than Lando Norris, but not that much, just a tenth slower, than Lando Norris is slower than Valtteri Bottas. Anyways, Perez P5, Ricciardo P6. Ricciardo is virtually P5 because of a penalty of who is P9? Pierre Gasly, fastest lap, 1:81. Good lap from Pierre Gasly. I'm sorry, I'll have to leave you for a second. I'll be right back in a minute. here I am. I'm back. Sorry, I had to go for a wee. I ain't like Charles Leclerc, who wheezes in the car. I ain't in a car, so I can't do that. Anyways, Max Verstappen, fastest lap again, 180 after his tyres are on the 25th lap, and Max Verstappen still getting fastest lap. Lando Norris 186 versus 188. The two are still battling for P2. 1.1 is the gap between the two. 1.2 now. And Yuki Tsunoda has got a penalty already or not? Ooh, very slow first sector for Lando Norris. Very slow. Hamilton hasn't been able, with fresher tyres, to get the fastest lap on Max Verstappen. Very strange, very strange. Lewis Hamilton, very strange. Wow. Carlos Sainz. Oh my, I spoke too soon. Carlos Sainz 180, then comes Max Verstappen 179. He gets a fastest lap the lap before, and then he gets even faster the lap afterwards, and he's 25.5 seconds ahead of Valtteri Bottas, who is being chased down by Lando Norris, who is 1.5 seconds behind Valtteri Bottas. Charles Leclerc is on the straight with DRS to try and overtake Dan Ricciardo. He gets on the inside. They almost touch. Have they touched? Has there been any contact between the two? There might have been. Anyways, Dan Ricciardo is still ahead of Charles Leclerc. He might have changed line under braking. I'm not sure though. Max Verstappen 16.9 first sector. I mean, he is just driving like a madman. He's extremely fast. Oh my. What a driver he is. What a driver. Will he get another fastest lap? Will he? He does get another fastest lap. He gets 2 tenths faster than before. Max Verstappen, absolutely crazy. Never seen this. What a race he's having. What a race. What an absolute race he's having. He's having the best race of his career, in my opinion. I've never seen someone this good. After 58 laps, he's still improving his lap times. His tyres are on 28 laps. 28! And he's still going faster and faster and faster each lap that goes by. Oh my goodness me. What a race for Max Verstappen. Bottas and Norris are separated by 1.5, but Norris doesn't look like he has enough pace to try and get Valtteri Bottas. And if he does, he really has to do a miracle. And by the way, order, right now, order. Verstappen for the first time in 5 laps doesn't get the fastest lap, but he still goes fastest on track. 181. Second fastest is Pierre Gasly Carlos Sainz 182, but he's with a medium fresher tyre, and he still goes slower than an incredible Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen is 27.1 seconds ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Absolutely madman. Max Verstappen, best driver in a championship right now, and there isn't even a competition in front of 132,000 Dutch fans coming from all over Europe to celebrate this driver. And Max Verstappen, is he Max Verstappen or is it Sergio Perez? Max Verstappen now pitting. He has pitted 61 laps and he's pitting. Imagine how good you have to be to do this. 2.2 stop time. You're really taking risks. On lap 61 of the race, a pit stop goes wrong and you've lost the race. Crazy. absolutely madman from Max Verstappen. 24 seconds was the advantage before the pit stop for Max Verstappen. Now the advantage between him and Valtteri Bottas is of 7 seconds, and he has pitted one more time. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are a Mercedes fan and you're watching this Grand Prix, well, you have to be kind of sad because you know who you are battling with. You have to know that Max Verstappen isn't going to play games at all, and he wants to win everything this season. And he wants to deserve it. He doesn't want to play anything with Lewis Hamilton. He doesn't want to give him anything. This race is a very big message sent to Mercedes, because this dominance was theirs last year. They were the one that dominated like this last year. And this year, Max Verstappen alone is crushing Mercedes' dreams of winning the title for the 9th time in a row. Anyways, we are on lap 62, 10 to go. Max Verstappen very likely to get another fastest lap. Is he going to get faster than 1.75? In my opinion, he might get a 1.69. He might. He's one of those days for him. Let's see what he does. And gap between Norris and Bottas is 1.4. Verstappen, what will his lap time be? He finishes the lap in 1.62.00. Max Verstappen, you are a driver that isn't comparable to anyone now on the grid. Lewis Hamilton isn't as good as Max Verstappen right now. In my opinion, Max Verstappen is better than Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton has pitted. He has pitted as Max Verstappen has done, and he was only able to get a 1.81. Max Verstappen was able to get a 1.62. So, wow, absolutely wow is the only words that come out of my mouth right now. Max Verstappen, absolutely best race of the season from him, and maybe of his career as well. Well, he actually drove him like crazy in Brazil 2016 as well, but this is on those level of performances. Anyways, we are on lap 64, and the battle between Norris and Bottas hasn't really caught on. There are still 1.6 seconds between each other, and Norris is 0.4, now 1.4. His pace is 1.85, Bottas' pace is 1.83, so 2 times faster is the finish. Now Norris actually being a bit faster than Norris, and but still we are not seeing any craziness. Still waiting just to end this race, because I don't think there's gonna be any difference. And also Sergio Perez has been able to get the 5 seconds penalty that FIA gave to him, and he will finish race in P5. Very good job from the Mexican, although he deserved a 10 seconds time penalty because he did twice the same mistake on Charles Leclerc. And yeah, so as of right now on lap And oh wow, I didn't see anything. I didn't say anything, but George Russell is in the point zone. He's P10. Can he do it? Can he get 1 point in the Williams car? Can he do it? Can he do this absolutely miracle? While his teammate is P17, yes, he was in Q3 today. Can he get 1 point? Can he do it? Can he do it? I didn't say anything because I didn't notice. Now I'm noticing. Alonso is 7 tenths behind Russell. And 2 Ferraris. I don't know if it was team order, but anyways, Sainz has overtaken Leclerc to try and chase down Daniel Ricciardo, who is P6, Sainz P7, Leclerc P8. Not that good of a race from both Ferrari drivers, but still. Good job. Good job from everyone. Maranello. GG. Now, Alonso trying to overtake down the outside George Russell. He cannot. He cannot. George Russell driving for his life to get this point that he deserves, because he deserves it. Even last week he deserved to get it. He wasn't able to get it. And now, this week, he wants to get it. At all costs. He has to defend from a 2-time world champion though, from Fernando Alonso, who is driving like crazy. He wants to get that point as well. He deserves better than P11. They both deserve better, because Alonso last qualifying session, he was impeded by Sebastian Vettel and he wasn't able to enter Q3 that he deserved to get. Now, Russell and Alonso fighting for P10. Who will get that point? George Russell, who wants to get the first point in a Williams car, or Fernando Alonso, who would get his 1,000th point. I don't know, how many points does Alonso have? Let's check. Fernando Alonso would get his 119th point. They're still battling down down turn 5, now turn 6. Alonso still behind George Russell. They're still battling for P10 now. In the last sector they go. They are almost on the last turns. Extremely close between each other. The 2 last corners, 67th lap of the race. Extremely close. Another lap has gone by. Max Verstappen, only driver to be under 177, to be under the 1.8 rule, while everyone else is either 1.8 or 1.9. And by the way, the second fastest is a second slower than Max Verstappen, to let you understand how good has Max Verstappen been in this race. And anyways, we're on lap 68. George Russell, who has been overtaken by Fernando Alonso, wants to get that point back. Can he do it? Can he do it? George Russell has lost his 10th place. Absolutely undeserved. Undeserved by George Russell. Alonso doesn't care that George Russell deserves his points. He wants to get it as well. George Russell couldn't defend from Fernando Alonso's attack. And on turn 3 of the 68th lap, George Russell on the inside loses again a chance of scoring. Absolutely bad luck. George Russell, who deserves to score a point, but he's not able to. The two are already a 1.2 gap between each other. Williams is not able to score points. George Russell deserves to though. And next year he's going to get a Mercedes, in my opinion, and that time he'll get way more points than he deserves to. George Russell, fantastic driver. He absolutely deserves to be in a fully competitive car, not a Williams. And by the way, we are on lap 69 out of 71. Carlos Sainz is trying to attack Daniel Ricciardo. They are separated by just 8 tenths of a second. Save 7 tenths now. Round turn 1, Ricciardo and Sainz go. Leclerc is a bit behind. Ricciardo goes zigzag to avoid giving Carlos Sainz a bit of slipstream. And now they lunge into turn 3, I'm sorry. Sainz and Ricciardo very close indeed. Carlos Sainz has DRS of Daniel Ricciardo. Well, and they are through the straight. Carlos Sainz cannot do anything yet. Cannot overtake yet Daniel Ricciardo. By the way, Max Verstappen has lapped anyone on track but the top 9 with a stop more than anyone. What a drive from Max Verstappen. We're on lap 70th lap of the race. 2 laps to go. And right now, Carlos Sainz is extremely close to Daniel Ricciardo as George Russell made contact with Kimi Räikkönen. Extremely close. Does he have a puncture? No, he doesn't, because otherwise he would have already lost the place. We are on the final lap of the race. Final lap. Final chance for Carlos Sainz to overtake Daniel Ricciardo. They are turn 3. Carlos Sainz is extremely close to Daniel Ricciardo. For P6, that will be important, fundamental. Well, Lando Norris is getting a podium for McLaren. Carlos Sainz goes down the outside of Daniel Ricciardo on the last lap. Carlos Sainz overtakes Daniel Ricciardo. Can he hold on though? Yes, he can. Carlos Sainz, great job from the Spaniard of getting that P6 fundamental in the standings. Absolutely fantastic job from the Spaniard driver to get P6. Fantastic job. Last lap. Now we are through the last corners. Well, actually, there is another lap for those drivers. Just Max Verstappen is going to finish the lap. I think 3 minutes before everyone else. But anyways, there he goes. Max Verstappen. Last 2 corners for the Dutch driver who had an absolutely fantastic Sunday. Yellow. Sector 2. What happened? Anything? Nothing happened. And there he goes. Max Verstappen wins with a Grand Chelem. The Austrian Grand Prix. Who is triggering this yellow flag? Let us know, Formula 1, please. It is Sebastian Vettel, in my opinion. Is it? What happened? Bottas comes in P2, Norris P3. Great drive from the top 3. Fantastic job from both drivers. Who is triggering this yellow flag though? Let us know. Formula 1 doesn't want to let us know who has triggered this flag. By the way, George Russell wasn't able to score points. Again, unlucky. And so, final classification. Verstappen, Bottas, Norris, Hamilton. Carlos Sainz P5 because of a penalty that was awarded to Sergio Perez because of a contact with Charles Leclerc that forced him off the track. Then comes Sergio Perez, Daniel Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, Fernando Alonso, George Russell, Yuki Tsunoda, Stroll, Antonio Giovinazzi, Latifi, Raikkonen, Vettel, Schumacher, Mazepin, and Ocon was the only retired driver. And as of right now, we have done a what a crash! This was the reason why we had this yellow flag, Raikkonen and Vettel. Raikkonen lost the car and Vettel spun. And he didn't go into the barrier because they were just guardrails. They would have crashed badly. Wow. Big crash. On last lap. Yeah, Kimi Räikkönen's fault. Obviously Kimi Räikkönen's fault. By the way, so Verstappen gets on 25 plus 1 points because he got the fastest lap as well in 1:6.2. Then Bottas 18 points, Norris 15 points, Hamilton 12, Sainz 10, Perez 8, Ricciardo 6, Leclerc 4, 2 for Pierre Gasly and 1 point for Fernando Alonso. As of right now, the standings. See. I hope they are updated. I hope they are. They aren't yet. They aren't yet. I'm sorry, I can't see the standings, this updated standings yet. But anyways, this is the end of the race. I hope you all enjoyed the live stream, and I'll see you next Grand Prix. I don't know when it's gonna be, but it should be in Great Britain. And we should also have the first sprint race of the season. So remember not to lose that, because it's gonna be fundamental to understand what Formula 1 is going to become. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Thank you.